About what's going on.
And I will be around, so if anybody has any questions.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
It is still morning. That was wonderful. You know, they always put me up after the speaker, right after the speaker. And we've had great speakers, and so I hope this won't be somewhat of a letdown. But anyway, welcome to, again, the Don Tuan Hotel. This actually was the room that we wanted from the very beginning. It can double in size if we need it. It's superb for our sponsors, and it just works out really well for us. And they were kind enough to take us on very quick notice. The reason, quite frankly, was how many people, show of hands, were at the last GM at Toulouse? Okay. And you know how difficult it was to be in that room. We understood the reason that we were there in that room, but it's just something we didn't feel we could continue to do. It wasn't fair to the presenters, and it was hard for a lot of us to see if you were around the corner. So we decided to make the change. This is admittedly not going to be our permanent home. We may end up back here another month or two, depending on the situation, but we've got something working that we can get into a more permanent situation. In the meantime, we have a nice place to come when we need it. I will point out, and I apologize, we weren't aware that the elevator system from the garage wasn't really working properly. I think they weren't actually aware that there was a problem either, and they're addressing it. But if you do come next time, the safe thing is not to go to the lobby floor, but to just go up to the ground floor. And you can take the main elevators up here and avoid the elevators in the garage. Okay? So let's talk a little bit about upcoming stuff. The next event is breakfast again. Again, show of hands. How many joined us yesterday in Hangdong? That was a wonderful place, beautiful restaurant. They really did an excellent job converting. It was an old gallery type store, and really nice. I mean, everybody enjoyed it. It was interesting. We did a survey trying to, look ahead and see what we're going to do. And the survey sort of indicated that most of the people down there, 80% of the people that filled out the survey, actually live closer to Rongchok. But I think there was a curiosity factor from all of us. Amazingly also, that most of those people said that they would be willing to go to both. So it's an option for us. I do realize that most of our members live in the city and closer to the Rongchok location. Amazingly, very few of the people, only 4 of all those people that were there yesterday, only 4 of them said that they lived closer to the Hangdong Dukes than they lived to Rongchok. So I do think a lot of us made the trip down there to see what we were seeing, and it was great. We enjoyed it. It's a beautiful room, lots of space. We can handle more people if we need to. So that remains an option for us, and we're going to look at that. We haven't actually nailed down whether it's going to be Rongchok or Hangdong for the next one. It will be Dukes, but we have to figure out which one's that going to be, and we will let you know immediately. We hoped to have an answer yesterday and had a miscommunication with Dave, so we'll work on that. One thing you can count on is it will be Dukes. The next day, the very next day, the 5th of November, is our barbecue, also catered by Dukes. And if you haven't looked at the newsletter and seen the menu for that, you might want to take a look at it. We actually, the board met and sampled all of the food that they wanted to serve us at the barbecue, and I'm telling you, there were some stuffed people that left that table, and there wasn't a single dish they put on the table that we didn't like. Tweaked a couple of them. Interestingly, the one dish, as they pointed out to me this morning, the one dish that went away empty, they should have brought a second one, but they didn't, was macaroni and cheese. And if you have not had Duke's macaroni and cheese, let me warn you, don't eat that morning because they're gonna have macaroni and cheese and it's to die for. So, among all the other stuff. The barbecue is really shaping up to be a lot of fun. There's lots of things to do for family as well as us. And then the golf ball drop. Nancy, are you gonna talk about the golf ball drop at all later?
No, I could.
Okay, well, if you weren't planning on it, just,
I'll mention.
okay. The flyers are on the table. It's sort of gonna be a fun event. They basically take 300 golf balls up in a bucket, in a hot air balloon, up about 60 meters, and then dump them. And the field they're dumping them into is sort of interesting because it's a parking lot. It's basically the size of a football field, but it has cement blocks, sort of. Oh, sure, okay. You're taking all the fun out of it. But anyway, they're going to drop all these golf balls, and they're going to have a hole, theoretically, probably drawn somewhere on there. And the ball that ends up closest to the hole wins, and then there will be second and third place. The prizes are pretty outstanding, and all the rest of the money will go to the charities that Rotary does. And this is an international thing. They are selling tickets all around the world to this thing. It's going to be fun. And they're also going to have an extra balloon there laying on the ground. The balloon company is going to inflate it for people to get to see the inside and play on the inside of a balloon. And there's also the opportunity to take a ride up in the balloon quickly and grab a couple photographs and come back down. And so lots to do on that side. There's the 115 acres of some of the most beautifully landscaped property you'll ever see in your life. They have 40 full-time greenskeepers, or not greenskeepers, landscapers, working at that resort, and it shows. I mean, that is just a beautiful place. So if you haven't decided to come, the tickets are selling. We are limited to a certain number, so we can't exceed that number, so don't miss out. If you're planning on going, the buttons are available in the newsletter. Sign up and come join us. The Christmas party would have been the next event. That has been canceled. What's that? Oh, excuse me. Well, I'm talking, okay, let me talk about the Christmas party first. I've got Christelle below it here. Christmas party, we just frankly ran out of options. We were trying to find a place, and we have a lot of needs that have to be met for our particular group. Access things, all kinds of things, plus cost is a big one. And we just ran out of options and decided that it takes a lot of time and effort to put that event together, and we were running out of the necessary time we needed and not finding a place that could really accommodate us. So we decided to not do the Christmas party this year. We'll obviously try to bring it back. It is a popular event, but we will working on instead on a wine tasting and a social holiday themed stuff. So something for everybody kind of things, and that information will be coming out for you very soon. Now, the Christmas lunch at Le Cristal. That also has been published for a while now in the newsletter. The menu is there. It's a fabulous afternoon. Believe me, anybody who's been there will tell you that it's a sellout every single time. It should be again this year. It's a great place. Their food is outstanding. The tickets for that will go on sale the day after the picnic. Okay? So don't hesitate. There's again a limited number of seats available for that. The final event that we have not scheduled yet, that we talked about, we're still talking about it, will still happen. I just didn't need to get Jim Anthony to commit to a date, is we are going to do another market tour. For those of you who like enjoy the markets, they're a lot of fun, and Jim does a great job of putting that together and taking people around. If you've been with it, you know that he's going to put heart and soul into it, and you're going to love it. So we should have, that's tentatively scheduled for late January, early February, so we've got a little bit of time left to nail it down. I do want to bring up one thing. I know that when I'm talking to this group, I'm probably preaching to the choir, but we ran into, again, our problem of no-shows yesterday at Hangdong. Reservations made, which is we've been very clear. You make a reservation, we're going to pay, you know, that you're committing to being there and paying. That's the number we give the restaurant so they can properly prepare. It's important. It's critical, and particularly in this day and age. And we had 15% no-shows yesterday, which is just inexcusable. They will get a bill, you know, and everybody is aware by now that they will not be able to attend another event until they have cleaned up that invoice. And the problem is we're trying to accommodate everybody. We're really trying to look and do the best we can for everybody. And the fact is we're not getting the cooperation from a small number of people. And yet we continue to try to figure out ways to get them to get on board, and it's not happening. And the reality is pay at the door is probably going to go away. And it's probably going to go away sooner rather than later. It's going to be a prepaid ticket to every event that we do so that we have an accurate number and we stop paying club funds for people who don't show up. And realize that those club funds they don't come out of your pocket. They come out of our sponsor's pocket. And when they come out of our sponsor's pocket, that means we're taking them away from the donation work that we do, that Laura works so hard on, and others. We're taking money out of the hands of the people that really need it, that we can be helping, just to cover members who won't get on board with the program. So I'm just sort of setting the stage here that don't be surprised when you see it, but very, very soon we are probably going to have to abandon pay at the door and go to ticket only, and don't show up if you don't have a ticket kind of a policy, because it just doesn't work for us anymore. All right, I hate to fit on the low note, but hopefully we can get around that. So anyway, that's it for upcoming events. Again, if you have any ideas, need to talk, if you have a suggestion, please seek me out. Love to hear from you, or you can do the info@chiangmaiexpatsclub.com and send an email. Thank you.
Hey, I'm Matt Goble, and I'm here to talk to you guys about pickleball. Pickleball is the best sport in America.
I know absolutely nothing about pickleballs. I need to be real short here. I don't care. I'm not going to let my say it. All right, I'll say it in front of the camera. If they don't have handrails, I'm not climbing steps. Let's see. Let me start with we have a relatively new sponsor out there, Chiang Mai Medical Center, and they've asked me to mention a few things to you. You can get an influenza vaccine shot for 450 baht. Ella and I just paid 650 at our doctor. And let's see, you can get a new knee for 200,000 and a new hip for 180,000. So this is a free shopping day at the medical center. That includes 3 nights in the hospital. And I'm having a hard time reading something right in there. Oh, next month, don't need anything before you get here, and we'll test your blood sugar. Just don't have anything to eat before you come in the morning. I'm going to sound a little bit like the backside of a broken record, but next year we need a programs manager. We need somebody to do Julia's job, and it'll be big shoes to follow. So if anybody has any inclination to come and help us with that, we're really flat-footed on that. And we're going to need a sponsor chair, a sponsor manager, somebody to help manage as the club gets back on its feet, but we'll have our second billing and probably be in pretty good shape financially come January. Thai crafts outside, I don't know if you've seen them, but we sponsored them as a community sponsor, and they're out there. And this stuff's all made by hand, by Thais. This is not crap shipped in from China, like you see on the street markets here. So take a look at it. It goes to a good thing. And I just want to make one last comment about the no-shows. If anybody's got any ideas, we really are up to trying to solve this problem. But 2019, it cost us over 100,000 baht in no-show fees. And yesterday, we had 15, how many was 12, 15 no-shows? Multiplied by whatever that is, 295 baht. And so if we've missed something, let us know. If there's something else we can do, let us know. But we're really getting between a rock and a hard place. And I'll be happy to take some questions or some comments if somebody wants to chat about this.
It's not now.
Just do what you say and charge people before they come. That's why you
Okay. There's a lot of folks that don't like to buy online, so.
They can send emails, Dave.
Okay. That's all I got. Thanks.
Okay, I didn't want to, sorry to cut you off. I know some of you got some great ideas. Send emails because we do discuss these during our board meetings. So it's something we're taking very seriously. And I know some of you would like to avoid us having to go where we pay in advance for everything online. Okay, I'm Nancy Lindley. I'm the local group activities person, and we've got some really exciting things today with our local group activities as the town is opening up. I understand that pretty much most of the guest houses are open. You're probably seeing a lot of young people in town. I don't know about you, but Roger and I first came here about 40 years ago. So we look like a lot of those young people. And we always try to be friendly to them because we had a good experience here 40 years ago. And look at us now, we retired here. So it's good to see that the guest houses are opening and the hotels are gradually opening up also with tourists that want a little bit more services than they offer in the guest houses. But anyway, and we're seeing some of our group coming back too. I hope the snowbirds, the seasonal visitors, will be coming back soon. We're going to start out with Susie talking with us about two groups she's very familiar with, the ladies' lunch and also pickleball. And then we're going to end on a high note. We've got quite a few representatives from Lana Capella, the a cappella choral group that didn't stop performing even during COVID. They followed social distancing and masking and continued to rehearse and keep their spirits up during COVID. So let's start out with Susie. She's going to come up here on the podium. And so you don't need this, do you? You want that? Okay. Try and stay on the podium so the mic get that.
Hi guys.
Hi, Susie.
How you doing? I'm Susie Gerber, obviously. Anyway, can you hand me that piece of paper, please? Underneath my purse. Thank you, babe. Okay. I have to have this because, unfortunately, I could stand up here and talk for 3 hours. And so I said, oh, gee whiz, I don't want an evil eye looking at me saying, be quiet, shut up, it's time for you to sit down. Anyway, first thing is I want each and every one of you to grab a pen and a piece of paper because later on I'm going to give you some information and so you're going to need to write this down. I organized the Expat Ladies Luncheon. We meet 2 times a month, every second and fourth Thursday. We try to pick a different restaurant. Now, for those of you who are looking for a more subdued, tea time, quiet, nice little luncheon get together, this is not the place for you. We're noisy, we're loud, we drink, we have a good time, and we talk about everything under the sun. We have an auxiliary department called the Men's Luncheon. And Greg is not here. I don't see him out there. So Greg Heck is in charge of the Men's Auxiliary Luncheon. But since he's not here to get his email address then I will turn around and you can email me and I will pass that on.
He has COVID.
Huh?
Greg has COVID.
I'm sorry. Anyway, I don't know, how many of all of us is in here have had COVID?
How many are vaccinated?
Okay, well, I tell you what, I got COVID in the day before New Year's at Papu House. I ended up with COVID at that time. I went to a New Year's Eve party with tons of people, kissing and hugging everybody, and I tell you what, not one person ended up with COVID. Then I went to Kathy and David's party 3 days later. I was sick with COVID. I didn't realize I had COVID at the time, and kissed and hugged a lot of people, including Ella. And nobody ended up with COVID. Anyway, going on, because I could talk forever. Okay. We're going to move on to the next group of people, that I am seriously involved in, is a game called pickleball. Now, pickleball, I'm going to have you do the video, and this is a little bit what pickleball is all about. I'm ready.
Hey, I'm Matt Goldel, and I'm
ready.
going to talk to you
Let's
guys
go.
about pickleball. Pickleball is the fastest growing sport in America. It was invented by three dads on Bainbridge Island back in 1965. It's a combination of tennis, ping pong, and badminton. It's played on a badminton-sized court with a net about 2 inches shorter than a tennis net. You play it with a paddle a little bit bigger than a ping pong paddle and a little more durable wiffle ball. You can play it as either doubles or singles. The singles is one-on-one, doubles is a combination of two teams, 2-on-2. It's grown for a number of reasons. It's a lot easier on the body and it's a lot easier to pick up. Most racket sports require hours and hours of lessons. But with pickleball, you can walk onto a court, pick up a paddle, and within 5 minutes of learning how to play, you can be playing a competitive game with your friends. It's a really fast-paced sport, which takes advantage of your quick hands and reflexes, but it's also strategic. It's like a chess match on a court. Pickleball is a great workout. It's fun for all ages and skill levels, whether you've been playing tennis your whole life or you've never picked up a paddle or a racket before. Pickleball is a really social sport. Unlike tennis, you're really close to your opponents and your partner, which allows for more of a social environment on and off the court. And it's a super competitive sport with tournaments all across the nation all year round. If you want to learn more about pickleball and how to play, go to playpickleball.com.
Okay, hold off on the pictures, Nancy. One thing, a Thai woman by the name of Tip happens to be the international, Southeast Asia spokeswoman and tourism for pickleball. She brings in, before COVID, and now she's bringing them in, she brings in up to 50 people internationally to come in and tour Thailand, and to also, their main goal is to play pickleball in Thailand. People turn around and think that pickleball is a United States sport. Well, it's not. It's international. We had a gentleman by the name of Rhino Anderson who came in and played pickleball for the very first time in Chiang Mai. This was 3 years ago. He has won gold medal in Japan, Singapore, India, and I believe it was he won the gold medal in the United States. Also, the gold medal here in Thailand. This sport in Chiang Mai, we're located in the Haya district, which is Chiang Mai Airport Plaza, up a block. Just go to Google Map and put in Chiang Mai Pickleball Club, and it'll get you right there. We play Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays, and Sundays, and that is starting at 8 o'clock until we're all tired, which is probably about noon. Other than that, it is a tremendous sport. It's a lot of fun. The camaraderie, the social aspect of Chiang Mai Pickleball is incredible. And just to let you know a little bit about the camaraderie, when my husband died, I had 30 people at my house for 3 days, and they were all pickleball people. Okay, I'm ready for the pictures. This is our club. This is our club manager. Shh. Anyway, go back. Sorry. Oh, come on, Nancy, you can do this, you can do this. Okay, that's all right.
I've just been showing up.
This is part of our group. Some of you know some of these people. Hey, there's me right there.
Kind of just a slide, I don't know.
That's fine, you're good. Don't worry about it. We're cool.
That guy's handsome.
He's very handsome, and his mother plays, and his brother plays. This is our court manager. Our court manager does all of the government work because realistically, we deal with playing in a park, and she, with Thailand government and Parks Recreation, she has to do a ton of paperwork. She is a fabulous person. She comes in there and she trains people. We have the equipment. You can borrow the equipment and go in and play. It's not a cheap sport. If you want the paddles, I bought a gearbox paddle 3 years ago, and it cost me $130. So we would love to have you come out and play. You're going to know if you like the sport and if you're going to do well at the sport. Give it a month or so, and within a month, if you can't hit the ball, then obviously it's not your sport. Anyway, you guys have a terrific day. Enjoy yourselves, and thank you all.